What's going on, everybody? Boba Fett episode 7 season finale. Did it hold up? How did it do? What are our thoughts on it? Stay tuned and we will find the fuck out.
Oh no!
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cantina, here with another episode reaction / review of the Book of Boba Fett, episode 7. Well, God, what was the name of it? I just had it. I already lost that up.
Shit, I don't remember. Honestly, I never remember the names of any of these episodes.
I think it was like
In the Name of
Honor. In the Name of Honor. That's what it was. So yes, episode 7, In the Name of Honor, season finale for the Book of Boba Fett on Disney Plus. Came out on Wednesday. Today is Thursday as we are recording this, so it is a day after. If you have not seen it, spoiler warning, spoiler alert. You got about 5 fucking seconds to get out of here before we talk about everything that was glorious about the end of this show, and possibly not glorious. We're gonna see what these gentlemen think. There's your 5 seconds.
Here, everything's spoiled.
Everything's spoiled.
Spoiled
Everything.
Milk.
Yeah, I was gonna say my
tomatoes.
whole fridge.
Curdled milk. It's fucking delicious.
Hey, either this is the new way they package cottage cheese or this is bad. All right, so as we always do, we're going to rate this episode, season finale. This is a big deal. I know last episode, Cody, I believe you gave it a 9.8 or a 9.9. It was somewhere almost perfect. Yeah, 9.8. And then Nick, I believe, what was yours? Wasn't it like, it was in the 9s too. Wasn't it like a 9.5 or something like that you gave it?
I think it was somewhere around 8, high 8 or something.
Okay, it might have been that.
It was quite 9, but it was like right around there.
All right, so Nick went for last time. Cody, what you got to kick this off? What are we looking at number-wise?
Like a 2.
For the a 2? You're the word. That is a lie.
No, it is a lie.
It was like a flaccid penis of an episode, basically.
I give it like probably like an 8.8.
Okay. Any little brief reasoning, or just want to get the number?
Just the number.
All right, Nick, what do we got? Just the number.
I'm pretty much right about there. I'm like at 8, 8.5, right about there.
Okay.
Probably more towards the middle there, 8.5.
All right. I'm going to say a solid 9 was mine. I was teetering between 8.5 and 9 when I was like rewatching people watch it, so I can remember everything in order the best I can, which probably I will fuck up at some point today because a lot. Yeah, definitely. It's been a long week. It's been a long day since I watched this, but a lot of this episode kind of meshes together. So for me, it was hard to segment it out in my head. So I had to like try to rewatch it. So I'll do my best. But yeah, I give it a solid 9 for this one. Obviously, I like the other one for what it was because of everything, fan service, Star Wars lore, all that stuff that we got. Obviously, there was good reason why we love that episode. But this one went right back into Boba Fett and, focusing around what this whole show started out with.
Yep.
How refreshing was it to see an episode open with Boba Fett?
It was
Boba
actually
Fett
nice.
A guest appearance, dude.
I know. It's so good to see him in Mandalorian season 2.5. But it was cool to see everyone in one place finally. We've had everything segmented and spread out, and finally, before we start getting into the breakdown of everything, it was nice to see everyone in one place and having a centralized story going on instead of back and forth between things. And not to mention the episode was 61 minutes long. So, we got a little bit extra than that we usually don't get, which made sense to me because that was the first thing I checked before I even hit play. I looked at the timestamp. I was like, all right, 61. So at least we're going to get as much as possible. I was guessing that it might have been an hour and a half, because we didn't get much Boba in the last couple episodes. I thought they might try to extend it more, but I was still happy that it was an hour. I mean, how do you guys feel about the time frame on it?
I thought it was solid.
It was solid.
It didn't leave me wanting more or anything like that. I thought this timing was perfect. It was good enough where I didn't even think about, honestly, the timing of the episode.
Yeah. Most importantly, it didn't feel rushed. So
no.
So you guys agree that the pacing was pretty on point for this one? Because I think that it was decent for what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
For being like pretty much action start to finish, I felt like it was timed like great. Nothing was rushed. Nothing was dragged out. It was just boom, 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 rolled perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, which is also cool, but you said the action part because this was directed by Robert Rodriguez, which he was the one that directed the episode when Boba Fett showed up in The Mandalorian. He was the one that directed that episode. So I was happy to see him in charge of having both the Mandalorian characters. We have Din Djarin, Mandalorian there, and then we've got Boba. So the fact that he had the reins on that because he had that other episode, I was like, okay, I have high hopes that the action's going to be done right because I remember it was phenomenal when we saw him back then. So really cool to see Robert Rodriguez be able to close this out, which I thought. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys agree? Did you want someone else in charge of this episode as far as directing?
I didn't really have a choice at all. No, as long as I enjoyed the episode, and like I said, it felt good all the way through. The flow was nice, so I
Okay.
it didn't really matter to me as long as it was done good, especially for the finale. You know, it is kind of an important episode to kind of end the series on a strong note, and yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
really disappointed.
Okay. Well, we are going to get into the breakdown now. I will kick it off by starting with what we see in the very beginning. We have Boba Fett right off the bat. Thankfully, we get him right off the bat this time. Sitting there with Finnick and Mandalorians there. We've got the mods there. They're kind of going over to the bar that thank God Max Rebo survived from what we know that Cody brought up. And they're kind of looking through the rubble, like the place is just completely fucked. Like it's nothing there. Yeah. Which I kind of was a little upset that there was not even no bodies. I know people can get vaporized from a lot of that shit, but there was no bodies, and maybe that's just a Disney thing. But I
didn't think about that, but I wouldn't mind seeing some bodies.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think like not everyone was in immediate contact with that blast. It's a big bar. Like I figured they could have shown like some kind of carnage a little bit.
Something.
So I thought that was more of a Disney choice, not to be too violent and just show bodies everywhere, I guess. But they go in there and they're discussing, what they need to do. And the mods are like, we need to stand right here. We need to stay here. We're not going to the palace because Boba wants to go back to the palace because obviously that's kind of like a fortress. But the mods are like, our people, our town, we should stay right inside this building. And this is where we should hold it or at least start and figure out what's going on. There is one thing that I did hate about this episode, which did get rid of points for me, but I know they have to be in there because they've been introduced and as characters and his lackeys. I still hate the mods. I hate them so much. They did have some cool moments in this that we'll get into as far as the action, but they bothered me that they were in this episode. Like it just pissed me off.
I mean, they didn't quite piss me off, but I feel it. It's still, I mean, the whole way they were recruited was still pretty stupid. They're kind of just whatever at this point. So
yeah, and the fact that and we'll get into the action, but these guys when they first showed their fight scene, they were using their mods, right? They were using the flamethrowers and the different things that they had to try to, fight off that Twi'lek dude. And then this one, none of that. Like no mods whatsoever, just all guns. And I'm like, where did that go?
Dude, nothing will beat a handy blaster by your side, dude.
No, I get that, but it was just there was no creativity with that. But we'll get into that with the action because there's a lot of action that we got to go over as far as fight scenes and how they were. So that happens. I'm trying to think. Help me out here. Right after that, we get
pretty sure we see the X-Wing and Grogu, right?
No, didn't we get Cad Bane right away?
Well, that was before they roll the intro. Cad Bane talking to the mayor and the Pike, the leader, whatever the hell. I don't think they say his name, do they?
No, they don't.
The Pike leader. Okay.
How did you like that exchange? And they're actually showing all those people in the room. When you got the Pike Syndicate, you got the mayor, you've got Cad Bane sitting there having that conversation. I thought that was really interesting to actually see them like discussing things.
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, anything with Cad Bane in it, they had to do something to get him dialect in the episode, other than facing off with Boba Fett,
Yeah.
So yeah, and I love the whole thing about killing the Tuskens and then Cad Bane knowing that information and using it. So it was a good scene.
Yeah, it was a good exchange to get kind of an idea of what they were doing, so then Cad Bane shows up and he's sitting there trying to discuss with Boba Fett, the terms or whatever and all that stuff. Just stand down, saying the same shit. Freetown ain't coming to help you. You got no reinforcements. I already took a visit to, see them and this and that. So Boba Fett learns that and he's like, oh shit, he's like, who are we gonna get now? You can tell he's kind of mulling that over as they're having kind of like a Mexican standoff without shooting each other yet. And then, Boba gets mad once Cad Bane throws it out there, like you said, Cody, about the fucking Tusken Raiders. And I love that line that Cad Bane used. He's like, let's do this right here, right now. And I was like, are we getting this like right the fuck away? I was like, okay. Like, did you think they were actually going to have the shootout or did you expect that it was going to stop?
Yeah, I was expecting that to not happen.
Part of me was thinking it was, but the other part of me was like, there's still a lot of episode left. So.
See, I thought that they were going to go through with it, but then something like interrupted or like caught between them. Like someone shows up that we weren't expecting that's going to be involved in the episode. I thought it might have happened like that, but I'm glad that it stopped. They didn't do it there. Fennec sits there and tells them, you're emotional, basically like calm the fuck down. Let's pick a time and place on our terms. Don't get all like, You killed my family, and then just go nuts. So that happens, and there's a shit ton of pikes there, like a fuck ton, because he's like, nope, not backing down, not doing this, not whatever. So the pikes start rolling in and get a little pissy. So they send out Twi'lek boy. They send him out, and he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll give you a note. Let's do this. And he goes to start reading it. He's so happy, and we will give you nothing. He just says nothing. He ain't giving you shit. And then what happens? The two men themselves flying out and just going ham. Now I want to hear you guys on what you think of all this, because I've been talking a lot right now. So I'm handing over the reins. When they come over and they start flying in the air and start fucking shit up, I want thoughts. What do we think?
About fucking time. It was about fucking time. That's all I was thinking while I was going out. I was like, this is it. Like, so I've been waiting for this whole fucking time. Some jetpacks, them fucking just rolling around, just destroying people.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
The jetpack shot was great. The first time you saw Boba Fett, it gave me some Battlefront 2 vibes, like hardcore.
Yeah.
And then obviously, yeah, Din Djarin coming around. I mean, that's what we've been wanting, right? I mean, that's everything we thought this series would be from the get-go. Not necessarily Din Djarin, but just Boba Fett taking people out, like,
yeah,
tactically and fucking just being a boss.
Using more of his arsenal too, his knee rockets and shit, his fucking backpack rocket he ended up using.
Mm-hmm. He used every rocket, dude. He used the wrist rocket, he used the knee rocket, and he used the backpack. Or jetpack.
And I agree with you, Cody. This is, when I watched this entire episode, especially when that started kicking off, I was like, this is what I was expecting. This is what I thought like the show was going to be, kind of like throughout. You know, like we were going to get tons of those moments, and then this end one would be, you know, a whole 60 minutes of just a big moment. So I was disappointed, thinking, I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted, and now we're finally getting it, but now it's over. And I was like, the fuck. Because that fight was amazing. The way that they were working around each other, the way that they were doing certain poses and shots. Like when Boba Fett starts walking and he lifts up one knee pointing that way and shoots that way, but he's facing it, like, it was just beautiful. He's just like bang,
looking pose.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Like I saw that and I was like, oh, he's throwing some finesse in there. He's just like, whoop. It was so good. And just watching him take hits on their armor, it was like a 300 moment, right? Like no matter how much they were getting beaten down, they just would not give up. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. The shots were great.
And then they screw themselves because they decide to shoot one dude off the roof 20 million times, and then they get overran while they're shooting the one guy.
That was great.
And I'm like, it was part of it was great, but then I'm like, really, you guys had to shoot him that many times, and now you let all these other pikes run up on you? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, they were outnumbered anyway. It could be an intimidation tactic. Like,
I guess so. Yeah, they're just trying to scare the shit out of the other ones.
Yeah,
just like, look how many times we shot this guy.
It's like, but he's dead, and they're just still shooting him. And
you scared yet, bitch?
It's like, what's that Batman meme when he's like, I think he's had enough, dude. And he's like, you want what he's having? He's like, no, justice for Gotham.
It was just that was pretty funny when they were doing that. I mean, there was some comedy humor in some of these fights that were very subtle, you know, and there's one big one that I really, really love that we'll get into here eventually. So all that stuff happens with the fight. Obviously, we also have Grogu, right? Grogu shows up on the planet and goes right there. And did you think it was him, or did you think it would have been Luke when you saw that X-Wing flying in?
I mean, at first, I thought Luke was going to be there, but as soon as it landed, you could tell he wasn't.
Because I knew all this happened before that fight broke out, which is why I'm kind of like coming back to that. Because,
yeah, skipped another part too, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, then interrupt me. Me.
You were on a roll, dude. You talked for like 15 minutes there.
He was kind of just coming out, and I was like, we have to jump in, but I didn't want to interrupt, you know?
Well, it's okay. Rolling, humble me, all right? Humble me.
Yeah, you get Grogu coming to the planet, and then before the whole fight scene happens, we realize that where Chris Santon is and where the other
all their outposts that
they get jumped before any of this happens.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And the pigs can't fly, dude. Turns out pigs cannot fly.
I felt so bad for them too. I was like, come on, man. I was like, everyone else is gonna get just ass kicked. They get thrown off a fucking ledge. Like,
well, they did it to themselves too.
Yeah,
like
dude,
you're
they
really
backed
about to
themselves
like,
into a corner.
yeah, you're telling me they're standing there looking at these people. They didn't once look behind them to like get an idea of like, all right, if we need to retreat, let's find out a good path.
They're
Just
pigs,
like,
dude.
well, I'm sorry. It
they're
just
pig people. But I did feel bad for the pigs.
Yeah,
I was a little upset about that.
I was more upset about Chrysanthemum. I was like,
Oh,
fuck, this dude's getting his ass kicked. There's nothing he can do, too.
Yeah.
There's just so many of them.
What was great about that, I was like, oh my God, they put him in the worst place. Like, he's just going to kill these guys for no reason.
That's honestly what I thought initially, too. I was like, he's going to ruin this whole plan. He's just going to start murdering them.
He's going to start ripping off arms left and right.
Well, yeah,
because
they showed him at that bar, and he was just like, he's like, oh my God, I hate these people, and then just fucking tries to fight him. It's like, oh yeah, let's put him in a market full of them.
Yeah.
No, did you think that he was like down and out for good? Like when they all smothered him and jumped him?
No, you can kind of get the like, especially after Fennec saved the mods, you kind of got like this like just feeling that Chrysanthemum he was gonna pop up sooner or later.
Yeah. Which, by the way, when Fennec saved the mods, that was like the most Western scene ever. Like the guy getting shot out of the tower and then falling. Like,
oh yeah,
that was great.
100%.
That was fucking great.
The amount of Western stuff that they filled into this show, like, has been fantastic.
It's been great.
Because that's the whole vibe of all of it.
Yeah. Which is what Star Trek was supposed to be. Just saying.
A Western?
Star Trek was based off of a Western in space. Yes.
I didn't know that. I had no idea. I'm gonna have to go do some research on Roddenberry and see what he was going with that. So yeah, they all get jumped. Basically, all the other clans or mobs, if you will, decide that they're like, fuck this, and they're gonna work with the Pikes. So they pretty much all their people turn on, Boba's crew and try to take him out systematically, which I thought was kind of an ingenious plan, because when you see it happen, you're like, okay, this is actually smart. Like, good move. I didn't see it coming, honestly. Because I figured they just want to stay out of the way and not have their money fucked with. And it's like, you just do what you want, Pikes. We've got our shit.
Yeah, and I love that they had Mando say it was a smart move.
Yeah,
and even Boba was like, yes, it was.
Yeah, it's like you gotta acknowledge it. You're like, that's a good play. Like, I would have done the same shit if I was in their shoes, And it works out. And I do love that exchange that Boba Fett and Mando or Din Djarin had when they were talking about, he's like, no, I'm not leaving. He's like, I'm a man of my word. It's, it's the way of the creed and all this stuff. And he was like, are you sure you don't want to leave? And he's like, nope, not leaving. And they're like, well, it was dying honor, basically. We're just going to, go out there and just blaze a glory. And it is what it is.
This is the way, dude.
Yeah, it was just that. It was such a cool moment.
Pulled the gun out, dude. It was one of the most badass things I'd ever heard.
I'll let you have that one that time. I won't, interrupt or copy it. But it was a cool moment that they had, just to show that he was like, you believe in all that like crap, like
Bantha fodder.
Bantha fodder, dude.
He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, good. Like, because I need you. Like, thank God you're so stupid enough to want to go out there and die because I need you. So it was a cool moment. And then obviously, yes, we have Grogu show up, and he had, like I had thought, he had the armor on, which we didn't know until a little bit later. But he shows up, and then we get a little bit of comedy with the old lady that dated the Jawas. She's like, oh, I just finished my paperwork just as you were landing. It's kind of coincidence, like, oh, it's the Republic. Fuck, I'm getting in trouble. Sees it's Grogu, and gets him some worms, gets him some lunch, and and then we don't see her till later. So that fight happens, right? And whatchamacallit.
They're pinned down, dude. All hope is lost. And then who shows up?
Pretty much.
Freetown, dude.
I actually got a little bit of nervousness there when I was watching it. They started getting shot. I'm like, all right, where's this fucking backup? She saved the mods like 20 fucking minutes ago. They should have already been here, them slow ass fucks.
I was like, the bikes are too slow, man. Didn't you see that chasing?
They took the rooftops, that's why. Idiot.
They got those really cool, colorful, slow bikes.
They wasted all their money on the aesthetics and nothing about the engine.
Slow go Power Ranger. No, it's and when I saw them like patrolling, like and riding their bikes, I was like, God, it's so retarded. Like I hate those so much.
It's so stupid.
They were bad.
Meh.
They were bad. They didn't fit into the rest of the show.
No, it threw me off. It's just, everything else looks all dirty, brown, and shitty. And then anyways.
Digress, dude. Come on, Freetown.
I digress. Freetown shows up, and
let me ask you a question, dude.
Yeah.
Freetown kind of gives him some cover. Did you think Cobb Vanth was dead when the barmaid was like, he gunned him down in cold blood, and he wasn't there? Did you think like, oh shit, he's gone?
No, I didn't think he's dead. No.
I started to think he might be, because I really thought he was alive, because it looked like Cad Bane hit him in the shoulder.
Yeah,
he did.
So I really thought he was alive. I mean, I guess maybe if he's wounded and healing, then he would be. He wouldn't show up there. But the way the one dude says, like, what was it? Is it Boba that says, sorry about? Doesn't he say
Mando
sorry about
says
Robert?
that. Sorry about the sheriff.
Yeah, so like that right there in that exchange, and the way the dude said it back to him, it to me kind of confirmed that he was dead, because the way the guy was like, I
was kind of thinking of it too, honestly, because I was waiting for a substantial character to die.
Yeah.
The whole time, and I was like, oh, maybe this is like a confirmation of he did die.
I thought he was still alive. I thought he was gonna be originally, before they came in and showed that, when we had that exchange between Cad Bane and Fett, I thought that Cobb Vanth was gonna be the one to interrupt them, like show up and like fuck up the whole standoff thing, and then they would kind of split apart, and then that's when everyone would get together and start figuring out fighting, and then Freetown would roll. And that's kind of how I thought it was gonna go. But we still got Freetown anyway, which was dope, because they rolled up and dude's got the essence of what would technically be a 50 cal, and he's just like, go now, and he's just shooting that fucking thing. And it was just cool to see that happening. And I love seeing those old school rifles that you only see on Tatooine, the ones that are just like real
musket,
thin.
Dude.
Or a cycler is what they call them. Yeah. And I just love the look of those guns, and I love that whole standoff, the way that they were like all behind there, and Chris Anton's there, and he's all like fucked up, and Boba comes over and he's like, I owe you a sit in the back to tank or whatever. Like you get to
soak in the back to
tank. Which he got messed up bad. Like when they show him limping in, like to get behind that car
up, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, is he gonna die? I was like, holy shit! Like his leg was dragging, it was sideways. I was like, God damn, dude! Like that was an epic moment.
He was taking a fucking beating, bro.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he had scars.
Those Trandoshans fucked him up. He got stabbed right off rip in the fucking back, like almost immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, this is like honestly one of like my favorite characters. I know he didn't have, I guess he kind of had a prominent role, but like he was kind of still not very prominent role, but like he was one of my favorite characters. When he was getting fucked up, I was like, God damn, this is sad to watch. I liked this dude. He was badass.
But it was also badass that he took all that beating and he did not give up. Like at all. Especially when he whips out the fucking the knuckles that he had, the electric knuckles, and he's just like, fuck, and then just starts punching people.
Dude, and when he flipped that guy off of him and then shot him while he was in the air, dude, that was great.
It was badass.
There's so many good moments with that. But yeah, it was badass to see him come in. And everyone kind of regroups, the mods eventually show up, and then everyone's just kind of like right there behind that big ass sand speeder. I guess if you want to call it that. It's like a transportation sand speeder that they rolled in on. And then everyone kind of disperses. They think that they've, got the Pikes on the run, because they did shoot a lot of them. They did really well. And then what rolls in? Some two big ass fucking
droid decals.
Yeah, like basically
on roids.
Yeah, those.
I think they call them scorpionoids.
Yeah, that's what that mechanic calls them.
Yeah.
Scorpionoid or scorpionoid droids.
Something like that.
That's like that's scorpion droids.
Did either of you know anything about these, or is this like new type of droid that we're seeing? I didn't know if they were like in anything else.
They almost looked like a ripoff of something that it was like a concept art, I believe, for like episode 2. It was so long ago.
Oh, for like the Clone War fight?
Yeah. And I feel like they just dug back into that design and just implemented it into this. Something similar to it. I have seen something similar to it. But they were sweet and they were tough as fuck.
Yeah.
And the droid Dakar shields. That's all I was like, they're no match for droid Dakars. That's all I said when the shields went up.
Is that legal? They're coming into the ventilation shaft. But yeah, those droids were fucking nuts. Like they were just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And they're getting fucked up hard. Like they're shooting, and I'm surprised it took that long to blow up that sand speeder, because they shot it a couple times, and I'm like, the guns that these spider droids basically had were fucking massive.
Yeah, they
were.
And so it took a minute for that thing to blow up, and then they finally split up. They're trying to get through. They can't break through the shield. The flamethrower ain't working. Rockets ain't working. Boba even
didn't work.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. So Boba uses his backpack rocket, fucking shoots that out. There's just a cloud of smoke, and then you're kind of waiting a minute. I'm like, they're gonna roll through. Of course they do. No big deal. They're just kind of like pushed back a little bit. And then we even get the Darksaber, and I was like, oh shit, this is the moment. Like he's just gonna cut through, and then they're gonna climb on these things and take them apart. Not even the Darksaber can get through.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing I wanted to ask either of you. I think Cody, you might know this because you know the lore of the Darksaber the most. Does that have anything to do with him? Or would the Darksaber not actually be able to cut through that? Because I know you said...
Before Cody answers, because he probably does know about the lore and all that more than I do, I think it does have to do with him and how he's wielding it. But I also think it has to do with maybe the shield as well. Kind of a mixture. It would be for me, it'd be interesting to see if he had full mastery of the Darksaber, then go up against that droid and see if he's able to cut through. But initially, I did think it was his lack of, familiarity with the weapon and his lack of growth with that weapon and connection with it.
Okay.
It's tough to say. It's tough to say. It really is. I would say yes, that it probably does have to do with him not being able to know how to use it. Because I'm trying to remember, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan like run away from droid to cars in Episode 1.
Yeah. They use Force Run. And they're like, whoa.
So I don't know that we ever actually see a lightsaber penetrate a shield like that, because it's technically energy on energy. So I don't know.
That's what I was saying. I would like to see with him fully mastered the Darksaber and fully adept with it. I'd like to see him go up against the droid then and see if there's some type of a difference.
Yeah.
Well, I do know that he did mention, and I don't know if that was to explain why that wouldn't work, when he said our energy weapons and our kinetic weapons aren't working, and he said this one because of this reason and this one because of that reason. So he did kind of mention that, and I don't know if that was just the answer and that was just it. Like that's why it's not working, or if
yeah, it could just be as simple as that.
So I was just curious about that, but the Darksaber obviously didn't work, which was like, oh shit, okay, so these things like mean business. Like this is no joke. Like how is this going to happen? Whatchamacallit, they eventually end up splitting up because they're trying to figure out like what they can do to take out these droids. Boba says, keep them safe. We'll split up. That one droid goes that way, one droid goes that way. So you've got the people of Freetown running, trying not to get shot by this fucking thing. You've got Mando trying to take care of the droid. And then Boba, disappears because he's going to, do whatever, which we don't know yet as to why, so he can help. And then the mechanic rolls in, and she's riding that like little go around thing with the little droid that like speeds you around, kind of like a buggy cart.
She's or some shit.
Yeah, she's like, oh, there you are. Like, you won't believe what I have for you. And he's like, turn around, because like, the big droid's coming. She's like, what? He's like, get the hell out of here. And then, of course, it shows up. She freaks out, and she's like, fucking turn around. And she's yelling at the droid to, like, have it speed off. And, of course, there's Grogu sitting in there. She pulls it back, and, oh, my heartstrings when he jumped into fucking Mando's arms. Dear God.
Dear God.
Dear God. That, like,
they were pulled.
It hit me. And I was just like, oh. It's like, it's such a cute moment.
Luke taught him to jump.
It would have been so bad. He's in the chair and he's like, he just like half jumps and falls off.
It was a nice moment.
It was a touching moment, and they even had the music cue in there, even though all this craziness coming on, he's like, I missed you too. Like, it's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then of course she brings it back to reality. Like, this is nice and everything, but can we fucking get it together? Like we're getting
honestly, that excuse me, that whole scene was the one time that I wish they were swearing in Star Wars, because I feel like her character is like the perfect character to just be dropping. When she called that dude the bucket of bolts and threw the thing at him to go faster, I could have sworn I heard she said fucking something.
Yeah, I thought she said fuck too at first.
And that was when I was like, God, this character needs to swear. Like she needs to be a thing where she swears. Like it just fit.
Yeah, and I actually read something online where they were talking. There's a couple articles from different review sites talking about her character and how they're like these shows need to stop trying to be funny, like stop forcing the funny. We don't need to have funny in these shows for them to be good. But I think that she was in there just enough for what they had her with. Like it was just enough comedy.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I
fine
agree.
With that. I didn't think it was like overdone.
I don't think she was forced.
No.
There was always a reason for her to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when you had her there, it's like she's herself. She's going to
Yeah.
be funny. Like it wasn't like they just forced it in there. But I don't know. A lot of people were saying Star Wars needs to stop being funny and throwing in so much humor.
We need to stop being so clean. We need more dead bodies and we need more cursing. That's what we fucking need.
Yeah, true. Especially if you're going to get into the real stuff of the dark side.
Yes.
Shit gets violent, man. We can't sugarcoat this crap.
No.
If you've ever read any books, my God.
What's a book?
It's this old thing that if you knew how to read it, you were a witch, and then they burn
you. Learn what Marxism is.
Even Hitler wrote a book. Everyone loves books. So yeah, she shows up and we get that little moment, and then what rolls in to help take out these droids, which I was like, oh, the minute I heard it, like it was like 5:30 in the morning because I just got off work and I'm watching this, and it happened, and I literally grabbed my seat. I was like, no.
Yeah,
like,
I totally didn't think anything of it when Boba Fett was sitting there talking to Mandalorian and like was saying like, basically we need more backup, and Mando's like, you got no friends, you're a fucking loser. Who else is gonna help you? And he's like, don't worry, I got this. And he like jets off. I literally did not think anything of the Rancor at all until you started hearing that growling and all that through the city, and I was like, oh yeah. I started getting a huge smile on my face. From that whole chunk was my favorite part of this episode. Was the Rancor fighting these robots? That was my favorite part out of the whole episode.
You know what's funny is that I was hoping, I was like, please be Machete on top of this fucking thing and just roll in.
That would have been hilarious.
Well, because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, the last time we saw him with the Rancor, he was talking about wanting to be trained to ride it and do all this stuff, but we never saw it happen. So I'm like, maybe he hasn't had the time to do that. And, Danny Trejo is going to be on this thing, and Boba will be like fighting to distract the droid while Danny is like controlling the Rancor.
That's why he wasn't in the last 2 episodes, dude. He was training.
It's possible.
And plus, isn't he the grandparent of the spy kid? So like, he's got a lot of things to do.
Yeah, dude.
He's a busy
Carmen
person.
and Judy.
Yeah, he's a busy person.
Carmen Ortega.
Susan Ortega.
Ortega.
God.
Sorry. It's all Hispanic, okay?
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, the Rancor thing was awesome. Honestly, when he left, I thought for sure he was going to get Slave One. That's why I was like, oh, he's about to just drop down some rain with the Slave One.
That would have been pretty fucking.
Can you imagine
sweet.
if he just dropped down the sonic bomb and just leveled
He just killed everyone.
The whole time he's like, we're gonna destroy this city, fighting them. I don't want to destroy the city, I gotta protect it, and then just levels it. That would be fucking hilarious.
It would make the city bigger, dude. The crevice would expand.
You know what's funny about that too is even if it made no sense and it ruined the entire story, no fan would be upset that happened. They'd be like, it was cool. It would have
been pretty sweet.
That was the ruthlessness I was looking for.
Exactly. He murders everybody.
Imagine it. You hear that sound and you watch an entire city from like a far off distance, just leveled.
And then Mandalorian season 3 is just Boba Fett. He's like, yeah, bitch, try and take my show.
I'm the Mandalorian.
But yeah, Slave One would have been cool, but we already had that with the biker gang. But when I heard and I saw the little back of the Rancor when it showed it like over the building, I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, there's no goddamn way. When he was riding that, the stirrups on that thing looked cool, the way he was riding it. And we get to see it, like the mobility of the Rancor. Because at first I was like, when you watch back in the day in the original trilogy, that thing moved pretty slow. Like it was obviously because of the time and what they had to work with, that thing moved slow. And I'm like, maybe it won't be fast. It's just a tanky and it can take a hit and it'll eventually get there. But when it started jumping and running and smacking things, I was like,
never seen that before, dude?
Damn. Huh?
You never seen that before?
Oh, God, here comes another Rebels thing, I think. Is it?
No. It was in the Bad Batch, dude.
Okay, well, that's another thing I haven't watched, so you can crucify me on that one.
I didn't think really anything of it. I just kind of expected it. I just figured the one before in the Return of the Jedi is like gonna maybe be a little lethargic. It's a fucking prisoner that just eats things.
Yeah.
So like, it's not really gonna be showing off its prowess or anything. So I didn't really give a thought. I was just like, this thing's about to fuck shit up. That's all I was excited for.
And that it did, because it even showed.
Yeah, it did.
Because you could even see. I love that nigga. Like, fuck yeah, it did. when it starts like just beating on the shield of that thing, and it's just getting mad. It was like, oh god, it's like that.
Just straight up overpowering it.
It was like that King Kong energy. Like he just like. I actually had someone that one of the people I served with in the military he was my boss at the time. He posted on today on Facebook. He pissed some people off because it was kind of like spoilers, but he's like, Boba riding a Rancor into a fight is the most space big dick energy I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, that's exactly what that is.
Yep.
And then people posted underneath, they're like, really, man, that is a spoiler. What the fuck? And then he like reposted a thing like, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just like really, really excited. It's like, that is big dick energy. You rolling like that.
Yep.
So he eventually takes out the first one. He's smashing it, and then they finally get through, and Mando gets in there with the Darksaber, starts stabbing it through the head, and we get him fucking that up. And then I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but are you talking about where he rips it in half?
Yeah, it was the first one. But before that happens, dude, let me pause you.
Okay.
Before he starts getting on a roll.
Yeah, dude. Jesus, fuck. I do love when Mando was using the Darksaber. You could tell he was still terrible with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a little faster.
A little, but he was struggling to like stab the thing into this droid. And then when he gets knocked off and Grogu fucking steps up to the plate, dude, I'm not gonna lie, all right? There was a thought in my head when they show him like doing his little waddle out. I was like, this motherfucker is about to pull out this lightsaber and go full Yoda on their bitch ass, dude. Like I literally was like, he's just gonna remember everything because Luke was like, it's more he's remembering than me training him. I was like, here it comes. He's just gonna start jumping around like a little fucking jackrabbit and kill this fucking thing. But he just pulled the bolt out. But it's still cool.
Still worked.
Yeah, it worked. And then when he fucking Boba, the Rancor had it, and Boba was like, "Do it." He's like, "It's like, oh my god, we got death commands, dude." That was bad.
Not only death commands, but callbacks to one of the funniest lines that we always say from Emperor Palpatine.
Yep.
It was just perfect. He's like, "Do it," and then just rips it in half. It's like, yes. And then you even get the moment where he was fighting later on, and the Rancor grabs a dude. I know this is going a little forward, but he grabs a dude, lifts him up just so Boba can shoot him, and then throws him away.
Yep. And we get the scream, dude. Ah!
But when that happened, I was like, did this thing really here you go. All right, you're done.
And then the very next one he ate, he was like, one for you, one for me. And then the last dude sitting there shooting at him, and he just fucking smashed him like an accordion.
And the other one he smacks up against the wall. Yeah. But when he busts through to go fight that second one, that was epic. Like,
oh yeah.
They're sitting there fighting, and all of a sudden you just see boom, and it's just already screaming and just backhands that thing right into a fucking wall. I was like, are we watching like Star Wars versions of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla? I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
I did not expect the finale to be a fucking kaiju fight. Like,
here's where we're getting into my problem of the episode. Since we're here, I'm just gonna slow you down.
All right, cool.
That second droid is fighting that group from Freetown and everything. Mason even brought this up to me today because I was talking to him about it.
Yeah.
Not one of those motherfuckers died.
That is true.
No.
How the fuck is that possible?
Because they're Freetown, man. They're free people.
It didn't bother me. Dude, it didn't bother me that much, but it's just thinking about it. I'm like, how is that possible?
Didn't you see their moves, dude? When they were running to that position, they helped Kersantin. And then those three pikes came around the corner, and that dude had that stun action spin
move,
and then took him out, dude.
Yeah.
That's why none of them died.
Yeah, he put him in a dishwasher, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He did. That spin move was the most unnecessary thing I've ever seen.
Professionals, dude.
It was, and I even watched someone say that they were like, okay, it's really cool, 100% unnecessary, but it's cool.
Yeah. Cool shot.
I'm surprised like one of the pikes didn't shoot him while he was spinning.
I wish they would have. It would have been great.
That would have been, yeah.
Like, see, that's
a robot chicken skit right there.
Yep.
But that's what I meant when it pissed me off. Is like the shit that they had that they were involved with. I'm like, like just stop. Like just let's not do this. Like it took me out of it. It ruined it for me.
The girl doesn't bother me as much.
That's like having like a $100 steak and it's the best steak you've ever had in your life, and then they fucking put ketchup on it. It's like, what are you doing? It was fine.
Sometimes people like that, dude.
You like ketchup on a high value steak?
No, but sometimes people do like that. Some people do. All right.
Some people do. That is fact.
Yeah.
Ketchup on steak?
Yeah. Some people do.
Yeah, communists. That's who do.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying some people do.
What is it you said, Cody? You said that if you put any steak sauce on a steak, especially at a steakhouse, you're not a real man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just disrespectful for the chef.
It's true. Well, it's disrespectful to Boba Fett to put these fucking retards in there. Okay.
Okay.
Jerry's kids, dude. He's got in there.
Because, like I said, the spin move, it was like, why?
I don't disagree. The girl doesn't bother me that much.
No, because she actually like talks and has like some story, and they had that moment where they, it was like, oh, you goddamn city folk, I know how to shoot, and I'm hunting in the desert, like, and then she's like, I know struggles too. It's like one grew up in the desert, one grew up in the hood, and they're like trying to butt heads on like who's had more suffering. It's like we're about to die. So it was cool to see that little moment, and I do like when they were like on the roof and shooting and like she's like, I need that cycler, and he hands that dude back a pistol, and he's just like,
it's a cricket, dude. It's a cricket from Men in Black.
Yep. That's what it looked like. I wonder why I recognized it.
That part didn't make sense to me either. When they went on the roof, and she's like, I'll distract the robot. It's like, why don't you both just start shooting all the pikes? Yeah. Like, they don't know you're up there. Just kill all of them. So all you have to worry about is the robot. Why even try and distract the robot? The robot was distracted by the ton of people you left behind, who was supposed to cover you anyways.
Right.
So I don't understand what's going on here. That part was a little.
And none of them died, dude.
None of them died. Not even when they were. I thought some of them were going to get picked off when they were running away. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Not once.
Not once did you pay for drugs.
Not once, dude.
Not once did your character.
Bad feelings into good feelings.
Yeah, so it was a little unrealistic that none of them died. I thought the bartender would get hurt or die, because he was the one like leading the charge as far as that group. I thought he would have like an epic moment of like trying to put himself out there to save, the people, kind of like in honor of the sheriff, because he's kind of the sheriff, I guess. Yeah. He's trying to be that leader. So I thought he might have died. Like you said, big characters. Not that he's a big character, but of him.
Significant,
So I thought that was going to happen. Do you think Max Rebo was going to come out and exact revenge for the bar?
No. He found another gig.
Yeah, dude, he had another gig.
He's on the run. He's up in Coruscant now in some fancy ass fucking.
He's a traveling penis, dude.
He's a traveling penis?
Yep.
No, so I just thought that was funny because one of our, viewers commented in our last video that, Max Rebo's revenge. And I just thought it was funny if like he showed up or like he'd be in the background when Boba and Cad Bane are sitting there and he's playing on the piano.
You guys all laughed at me that I noticed that. See, our viewers know.
I know they know more. I know they should host the show. I shouldn't do this.
Probably
That's
why
fun. Probably not wrong. Okay, so that happens. We get no one dying, unfortunately, not realistic. And the Rancor takes care of that, but then we get the Rancor on the loose.
Yeah, why does he go on the loose, dude?
Because Cad Bane shows up and he uses a flamethrower, like Frankenstein's monster, like fire, and the Rancor kind of goes away, which I thought was a little kind of stupid, but I get it, with like creatures and flames, and it's kind of like a stereotypical thing they use in movies and whatnot. But yeah, he scares off the Rancor, and the Rancor kind of runs off and does its own thing, and then we get the official standoff, right? We get the official Mexican standoff between Cad Bane and Boba Fett. And what would you rate? Because obviously we rated the episode, but this was the big moment that we waited for, especially knowing that Cad Bane is like in this show now. What would you rate that exchange and everything that happened with that? Was that satisfactory to you? Was it underwhelming, or was it more than you thought? Like, what are we looking at?
I'll let Nicholas go first.
Because he's a big deal.
I thought it was
1 out of 10. You rate like that whole thing from start to finish of that scenario.
I don't want to give it a number. I I feel like it was pretty solid. I liked it. I did like the exchange. My only disappointment is that like now I don't know if the beeping when they were showing like Cad Bane and like there's that beeping. I don't know if that means he's gonna be alive at all or anything. I kind of honestly just thought he was dead, like for sure. So my only disappointment with it was that like, damn, I wanted to see more Cad Bane. Other than that, I thought it was a pretty good exchange. You know, him sitting there talking about, I always knew you were a killer and shit like that, and then Boba just fucking destroys him. So like it was a little fitting to show that he drew out that what Boba was kind of like trying to quell a little bit in this new like, turn of face that he's, dealing with as the daimyo and all this shit. So I thought it was solid. But again, just disappointing because I was like, damn, I wanted more Cad Bane.
Yeah, and you're right. Real quick before Cody gets into his explanation, when he says, you've gotten soft in your old age, when they first meet in the episode, and Boba's like, we all do. Like, eventually, like, you gotta know when to just like pump the brakes. I thought that was a nice like nod to, like, we're both getting old. Like, things change over time. Like, I am who I am, but it's got to be a little different. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Cody. What did you think of the whole interaction between him and Cad?
I'd like to hear yours first.
For me, not knowing a lot about Cad Bane other than knowing enough to know that it was a big deal, obviously, when he came into the show, like I said last episode, and knowing a little bit about him from Clone Wars, not seeing him in Bad Batch or Rebels, but knowing what I knew from Clone Wars, I thought it was cool, that whole Western standoff. I am glad that Boba wasn't able to shoot him quicker, because I like the fact that Cad Bane still holds his ability to have one up on him with that, because it's like there's a reason he is who he is and why he's badass. I like that they kept that, and I do like how they incorporated the Tusken Raider stuff, especially with how much that was the reason why he was upset. When he took out the gaffy stick when he was about to get shot in the face, and he used that ability to do that because he tried to do that against the Tusken Raiders before, and he was overpowered, and so that's why he wanted to learn that fighting style, because he's like, how are they able to overpower me with a fucking stick when I've got all these, tech and abilities and everything like that. So I was like how they incorporated that, because it brought that full circle, that he avenged them their way. I am, like Nick said, disappointed that Cad Bane's dead, as far as we know. The way that he was like, oh, breathing at the end, it kind of signaled to me that he is toast. But there was something about that plate on his head that I don't know nothing about, that was a big deal to people, that said it was an Easter egg, or someone said, oh, there's the plate. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. So I know there's something there that I'm hoping you can tell me. Yeah, but I thought it was a great interaction, and it was nice to see him like not kill him right away. And then when he tried to shoot him again, that's when he stabbed him. It was almost like he was like really trying to hold back, like Nick said, and not be that person. But it's like Cad Bane wouldn't let it go, and so Boba had to just finish it off. The only thing I would say negative about that is I wanted it to be a little bit more involved and epic, kind of like when you told me about that Obi-Wan Darth Maul fight. I did go back and watch that. You're right, it was a 2-second fight, but it was amazing. It's kind of how this was. It was a very quick thing, but I wanted something more, I guess. Even though I was satisfied with what I got, I wish it would have been like an epic brawl instead of just this quick bing bang bow done type thing. And that's what I think.
Well, you're wrong, dude. I'm just kidding.
Everything you just said was wrong.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for hearing what you have just said.
Sorry, I'm getting like 50 million text messages.
May God have mercy on your soul.
No, I think actually you were spot on there. I personally love this interaction. And as far as like being disappointed that he's dead, like, this guy's like 77, 80 years old. Like, he's old as dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impressive he's even alive and still has his ability to quick draw. I loved that he destroyed Boba in the gunfight. Yeah. Loved it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, if he is dead, there's not many people that I would accept killing Cad Bane, and Boba is one of them. I would want it to be Boba, to show that he is like the fucking guy when it comes to bounty hunting and everything. And yeah, he kind of egged that guy out of him, that old guy. And when Boba was like, I'm not a little boy anymore, like, all that was great because they've known each other so long. And then, yeah, even him fucking bringing up Jango Fett Bane when he had Boba laying down, like, it was just so good. I this was my favorite part of the entire episode. Just this whole scene.
I kind of figured that this would be like your highlight if it was done right, and
Yeah.
you weren't like upset with it. I figured this was going to be what you liked the most.
Yeah, and like Cad Bane didn't know Boba was with the tribe for that long, and which is like a super deep callback to there's a benefit of people thinking you're dead. Boba, you know, that's why he was laying low, and he literally used all those abilities that he learned that Cad and most people in the Star Wars universe don't know.
And yeah,
so I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like the fact that they incorporated that, because it like, if you think of how the fact that Cad Bane shot him first, you're like, well, how is he going to beat this guy? And when you see that he uses the gaffy stick, it's like, okay, he's the only way to beat him is to beat him with an unknown thing that he has no knowledge about, which is what I agree with you. That's why I thought it was great. I'm like, it makes sense, because even you said in the last episode when Cad Bane is fighting, and he was like, you know, I've fought in a million clones. I know every move you're going to make. And then obviously we said that thing at the same time, which was funny. It's like he knows a lot because he's old. He's been around a lot, but he didn't know shit about that. So that's what made sense. And I'm like, I can accept it, because how can you fight a fighting style that you know nothing about?
Yeah. And the life support thing on his chest, Nicholas, like, I think that leaves the door open for them to have an excuse, because I'm pretty sure that's like a life support system.
That was that beeping that they kind of show, like
it's the same thing. It's the same type of thing Vader had on his chest. It's just showing, you know, his life.
Because that's I thought, I'm like, he's dead, but then they show the beep and I'm like, are they trying to like maybe just
like the machine kicked on like to help him? And I mean, they could bring him back, but the thing is, if they do keep him dead, there's so much they can do with him. Like you can have him fucking show up in the Obi-Wan show, like as a way younger version, you know, and fight Obi-Wan. Yeah. He's fought Obi-Wan before and gotten the upper hand on him. So that would be.
By the way, May, they just announced that. I think it's May 22nd. 25th. Okay.
25th.
Yeah, that was just announced.
I still think they're missing the ball with May the 4th, but
I actually thought about that. There must have been like they must have something else going on, or a legal thing or whatever, but I think they missed the ball on that one, especially of all months. And then you're going to pick that date of that month. It's just weird.
What's wrong with that month, dude?
I'm saying, like, if you're going to put it on that month.
Of all months.
Yeah, of all months, when you pick
you were born that month, dude. So
that's my birth month, dude. That's a great fucking month.
Yeah, what day? How close to the 4th were you born?
I was born 14 days later, bro.
14 days too late.
Oh.
I'd have to look it up, but I think his plate has to do with.
Yeah, because a lot of people pointed that out, but they didn't go into detail because they were obviously watching the show as they were saying stuff. So I didn't know what it was about.
I'm pretty sure it has to do with Boba Fett and him meeting before.
Yeah, I didn't think nothing about the plate. I just heard the beep and I was like, it's a little weird.
I just know there was a whole point that people were making about it, especially since his hat fell off, and I'm like, they must have done that on purpose. I mean, obviously the hat style, if you fall on the ground, it's going to fall off because it's a hard brim circle hat.
Yeah.
You know, but that was an Easter egg that people pointed out, and I'm like, I don't get it, but
yeah, it was okay. So you know, like unfinished animation. Most people have seen it where Boba and Cad face off and they shoot each other. And that's where Boba gets the dent in his helmet. That basically makes all that canon.
Oh,
because that was what he had to have that plate installed after that duel.
Okay, so that just basically
like that. I didn't know it was for sure that, but
yeah. So it was just a little thing just to make it like, okay, this is canon.
Yeah, they basically made that little clip that everybody's seen pretty much canon. That interaction happened at some point.
Well, that's cool. I like that.
They can make a live action version of it.
See, I think that if he's not dead, he's going to show up in Mando season 3. Now that Mando's involved with Fett, I think that we might see him in that before anything else.
And hunt him.
Yeah, because I think that would be a viable thing. You know, like he chases him down, he goes after him because he was involved in that. You know, Boba might be doing his thing on there, but you know, he's whatever. I think that would be the most plausible thing if he's not dead. That's where he would show up, in my opinion. Because obviously we've got Mando in this show, so vice versa, we could have more Fett later on when Mando season 3 happens, and more Cad Bane if he's still alive or stuff like that.
Yeah,
which would be cool. But if he's dead, I'm okay with it because it was a good way to go the way that it ended.
Yeah.
So I'm
Same.
fine either way, which is great because it gives them two choices depending on how other fans think of it. So that happened. I'm gonna fuck this
Rancor's
up.
running wild, dude. Come on, dude. We
Thank
got
you.
our Godzilla moment. He climbs up to the tower.
I know.
Din Djarin fucking gets on him. I was like, this guy's gonna fucking tame him by riding him. It was crazy.
Thank you. You made that sound a lot cooler than I did. So,
Yeah.
I know you should just host this thing.
I know.
Jeez,
Right
just
back at it.
Rhyming, dude.
No, yeah, the Rancor was on the loose, which was cool because it's like, the thing is still a fucking beast. Like, it's an animal. The only reason that it even wanted to do anything is because Boba was on it, and he just accepted that. So the Rancor's going nuts, and then we have a big moment where, Din Djarin, Mandalorian's trying to fight him and trying to hold him off.
He's getting eaten.
Yeah, he's trying to be eaten, but he can't because he's wearing the Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
He's got that Beskar on.
Oh,
it
was getting crushed.
Yeah, it was almost like towards the end. That's when it started like
it was
showing
it was
something,
bending a little bit,
which is crazy because that armor's not supposed to do that. And then you think about it, I was like, oh, the Rancor is like, is this real gold? Is this real Beskar?
gold.
I thought that's what he was doing. And then obviously, like I said, I thought that Mando was going to get hurt this episode and Grogu was going to come out and use some force powers. To what extent, I didn't know, but I thought this was going to happen. It's kind of what did. He comes out and he just does that Luke
the old
moment.
Anakin Skywalker on him, dude.
Yeah.
It was badass.
Yeah, he just calms the mind and puts to sleep and then goes over and curls up next to him and takes a nap.
Dude.
Yeah.
Little heartstring
like,
moment, dude. Little yank on the heartstrings there.
Everyone's afraid of this thing, and Grogu's like,
All that shit happened, and it ends with that.
Boba's baby and fucking Mando's baby taking a nap together, dude.
Oh God,
the twin sons, if you will.
Oh, like the dual sons of Tatooine. Yes. Oh, I see that word play you did there.
Like that. Like that.
But yeah, it was kind of a cool moment, seeing him do that. And I was like, it's awesome that he's just calming it down, like not killing it. No one's doing it. And even Din Djarin, Mando was like, you're scaring it. Like, stop shooting at it. Like this thing, is a creature that could kill all of us.
Shooting at it, I didn't get right away.
No. I didn't. Considering
modded fucks.
Yeah, that Boba's like, oh, this is my creature. And then they're all like, ah.
Yeah,
I wish that speeder would have crushed them, dude, and that's how they died.
Yeah.
They survived the pike fight, and then they died in the Rancor.
Don't fucking shoot at it. It was just helping you fucking idiots.
I would have loved if the Rancor started chewing him up and like, oh, this isn't human flesh. Oh, it's robot parts. Yeah, but when they were shooting at it, I was like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you just saw Boba riding this thing. Like, it's his pet. Like, that. You worked in his palace. It's his. Like, why are you trying to kill it? Like, what the fuck? It's not even attacking you. It's just destroying buildings. And you're just like, kill it.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. And that was another reason the mods pissed me off. I'm like, you guys are fucking useless. Like, so useless.
I do think, too, Grogu being able to calm the Rancor's mind, I think that's showing us that he's way stronger than even he knows.
Yeah.
Like he's just he's more in tune with his force sensitivity.
And that's what I'm telling you. Like Mando got hurt and then he just all of a sudden does what needs to be done without thinking about it. And that's why I had that feeling. I was like, it's going to happen. He's going to have that moment almost like Goku in Dragon Ball Z when he can't unlock that power and then Krillin dies. Next thing you know, he fucking loses his marbles and goes Super Saiyan. It's like that moment has to happen for you to finally just take the next step. And that's why I had a feeling that was going to happen in this episode.
That moment was okay, dude. But hopefully it's more like, when Cell kills Android 16.
Yes, with Gohan Super Saiyan 2 teen version. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is a lot better.
It's a way better moment, bro.
It is. It is a way better moment. And honestly, that I've watched that moment before going to the gym to get ready for the gym. Like, I shit you. I swear to God, I have. The minute he just goes back and screams and then just, Cell's sitting there like, incredible. I'm like,
Get fucking jacked.
I'm gonna go lift heavy things.
Jack to the tits.
Blows up all the Cell Juniors just with his fucking energy.
And you hear that guitar riff coming in, and you're just like, whoa! He's just knife-handed everybody. I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. I'm fangirling right now.
Wow, you can get that whole fucking TV show in a row, but you can't fucking get this one.
I mean, I've only watched
this episode how many times, dude? Recently.
I've watched that Dragon Ball Z thing probably 50 fucking million times. So
that's a lot, dude. I'm calling bullshit. I'm taking the under.
Your short-term memory ain't that good. Your long-term memory is great, though.
Yeah, I remember all my trauma.
I'm taking the under in DraftKings on that one.
I remember all the trauma. I don't forget.
I don't forget. It just marinates in my mind in a pool of pain.
A pool of pain and alcohol.
But yeah, so yes,
you're done hosting this. I'm taking over.
Thank you. Please do. Please do.
At the end of this whole battle, did you notice fucking Boba? Like, he's finally happy. They're walking through the streets with the fucking medieval music, I might add, which was pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah, it was a little weird at first, but I was like, I mean, I kind of dig it.
I'm not mad at this at all. When he tells Finnick, I don't think we're cut out for this, I was like, this fucking guy's got everything he fucking wanted, and now he's like, I don't think we can do this. What do you mean? You just did it.
All these people went through all this shit, and you're like, yeah, maybe this wasn't the move.
Yeah, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Pretty much.
So I'm thinking that we're gonna get Boba and Finnick in Mando 3 for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think they're gonna leave Tatooine. And I think they're gonna leave a certain person in charge who we thought was dead up until the fucking post-credit scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you think he's gonna
Did
take over Mos Espa?
Nicholas missed the post-credit scene.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Oh my god,
rookie mistake.
Oh my god, sorry, dude. I was, I had my baby right after. I was like, I'm gonna put her to bed and shit. So
it was right after the concept art.
Yeah, no, I stopped
immediately.
God. Once it was done, it was done.
So
it's my boy.
Boba, when they're walking, Finnick's like, oh, you should lay down in the back of the tank for a while, and he was like, it's being used. Immediately I'm like, oh, Chrysanthemum. He told Chrysanthemum he was going to do it. But then Chrysanthemum's there in the town like immediately after, so obviously he's not the one using it. So then, I'm not gonna lie, I almost lost my shit. I was like, Cad Bane is in the fucking back of the tank. Boba's saving him.
I thought that too.
That's what I thought. But it's Cobb.
I was like, he's gonna.
Oh really? Okay.
Cobb Vanth in the back of the tank with the fucking mod doctor. So he's about to get modded, dude.
Okay, that's
survive.
He survives. So I think they're gonna have Cobb take over as like the sheriff
of Mos Espa.
Yeah, of everything.
I think he's going to be a temporary. I don't think that Boba and Fennec are going to leave for good. I think they're going to leave.
I don't either.
Yeah, they're going to leave to go help Mando, and then he'll be in charge at the time being, and then they're going to incorporate that somehow. Because if they're going to use him in a post-credit scene, he's going to be in there more than just saying, "Yeah, he's in charge," and that's the end of it. Like Cobb Vanth is going to be.
Oh yeah, he's going to be there.
What do you think they're going to mod on him? Because he got shot in the shoulder. So like, what do you think he's getting modded with?
His arm and his penis.
You think he's going to be faster?
Oh yeah.
He's going to be faster, stronger. He's Batman.
He'll be faster, longer,
harder.
Titanium.
I think
here's an idea for a show.
What?
Hold on.
Okay, holding on.
Cad Bane survives. Cobb Vanth takes over as protecting Mos Espa. But Bane's a little pissed off, and he wants to seek his revenge on everybody and anybody.
So who called him Blue?
Yep. So he attacks the town. Be interesting.
It would, and also if Cobb Vanth gets modded and his arm gets modded, then maybe he's now faster than Cad Bane because his arm is actually robotic.
Maybe.
He's got him.
No match for droidicas.
His arm is actually a droidicas. It's got a shield and everything.
He doesn't have a shield, just his arm.
It's just his
They come in, they're like, "Did you fix him?" And the mod guy's like, "I gotta be honest, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done, but it works." It's like I usually don't judge what people ask me to do to them, but goddamn,
I can't believe you missed the post-credit scene, bro.
I know.
I'm sorry, it happens. Shit happens.
Blows my mind, dog.
I didn't even fast forward. I literally took my mouse cursor and I was like, scroll. I was like, oh, there's something, and I clicked like right before it started because as much as I love the
art. I just watch the art usually.
Oh, I rewatched it the second time, but I was like 5:45 in the morning after I got off work for 10 hours, and I was like, I'm tired. I just want to see what it is so I can go to bed.
Yeah.
And that's when I texted you guys, and I was like, oh, I just watched it, and it's like almost 6 a.m. Cody's like, I'm watching it now. It's like,
I woke up early, dude.
Like I was shitting bricks when I was at work because everyone was like, why are you so excited for the day? And like, you've been like, I wore my bounty hunter jersey. I was like at work loving life, and I was like, I can't wait to get home. And one dude I talked to about it, he was like, you ready to go home? And I started jumping up and down. I was like, it's the finale, bro. I was like, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here.
It was good.
So yeah, it didn't disappoint. So yeah, the Cobb Vanth was the post credits, and then that was pretty much it. And then
we should mention, dude, that Grogu loves going fast, dude.
Yes, that was cute.
Yeah.
That was cute. Because I didn't know what he was. What do you think he was tapping for? What do you think before? Obviously, we found that out when he was like tapping.
Honestly, I thought he was gonna do, what would you call that? A corkscrew.
Barrel roll.
Yeah, like just spin it.
Star Fox, do a barrel roll.
Because I thought it was gonna be like a throwback to when Anakin's like, "Oh, let's spin. That's a great move," and he
just turns.
Yeah. I literally thought that's what they were gonna do, but it was just he just wants to go fast, dude. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yep.
Well, he said, "Hey, I got family. Let's kick it into high gear."
Family.
It was cool. He was like, "All right, one last time," and he fucking hits it, and Grogu's like, "Oh!" He's just loving life. This dude's 50 years old, and he acts like a fucking child. It's great.
I mean, he
is a child to him, dude.
He is a child.
I know, and in his race,
talk yet.
No, he could barely jump. I had a funny thought before we wrap this up, where I was like, obviously he shows up with the armor, and I'm like, I figured that. And I'm like, you think Luke's back there? Like, fucking bitch, chose the armor. God damn it! Like, he was my first student, and like I already got rejected by the first one. They're like, I'm gonna go back with the Mandalorian. I don't know what this is.
Maybe that adds a layer to why Luke was so defeated when Ben turned.
Because he can never keep his students. It's true.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll have to see. There was some people that I read online that were pissed that Luke wasn't in this. They were like mad that this episode failed because he didn't show up and do anything.
He couldn't be in this.
I know. I'm just saying that there was
Superman effect, bro.
If you look online, there's a lot of people saying that they're calling the episode
online, dude.
mid. And I was like,
look at us, dude. We're online. There's a lot of dumb people out there. There really are, dude. There's people, like Adam, who suggests that Darth Maul could be in the Obi-Wan series.
I didn't know he died because I didn't watch Rebels.
Or people like Adam who think the, fucking, god damn it, Justice League movie was good. I wanted to say like Supreme Court. I don't know why.
Supreme Court?
Adam thinks
the Supreme Court's good. What an idiot.
I mean, it'd still be idiotic, but
the Justice of the Peace, is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say. I want to say Justice League, but
that's funny. But no, Luke is literally the Superman problem. If he was there, the whole conflict would be over.
I know. Can you imagine though if he fought
nothing?
Cad Bane sitting there fighting him? That would have been dope.
It would have been. But I don't think Cad Bane could take him.
No, fuck no. He couldn't take him. Obviously, because he's old.
No, dude, but in his prime, he could take Obi-Wan and Anakin and
in his prime. All right, he ran out of his subscription. He's got no more Amazon Prime anymore. All right, he's got nothing. He's old.
He's got the Plus service, dude. You never know.
Yeah, Disney Plus. Like they did in the South Park shit.
Yeah. Applebee's plus Waffle House.
Is that the post-COVID thing?
Yeah, everything's plus. Every store is a plus.
TJ Maxx was like TJ Maxx. It's all the streaming services. Anyways, we'll talk about that offline because I don't want to get that in here. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Because that was pretty much it. I think we could wrap it up on that.
Man. I'm excited for Obi-Wan.
I know. We're gonna have to look at that May 25th. Definitely, we're gonna be doing that. Well, maybe we can try and see if we can do like a react to live recording of the video. We'll see.
By then we should be able to set something up and
we'll figure it out.
We'll see.
So for some of you,
maybe we'll get a Patreon and you can watch it with us. Let us know what you want to do.
Yeah, they're like, wow, we have to suggest this, and now you're gonna put it behind a paywall. Fuck you.
A paywall of fucking 5 cents or some shit. What's the lowest you can do?
I don't know, but that's what we'll do.
People, I just want to hang out.
Yeah, well, if we can make it free,
Discord, man. We'll do a Discord party.
It's true.
Woo-woo.
Either way, we'll figure it out. But Obi-Wan's going to be the next one going into. So obviously, this was the end of Boba Fett. What was your reaction review of the series or this episode in general? What did you think? Were you happy with it? Were you unsatisfied with it? Let us know in the comments down below. We've got a lot of viewership from last time, so I want to thank everyone that actually commented on that. Before this video started, I did check, and the views were like 555, which was amazing. I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting us on that. These guys are also still doing some more Pokemon card unpacks, so definitely check those out. We're going to be coming out with some more stuff, in between all of these shows that we can think of to try to make this channel, interesting to everybody. Like and subscribe, hit that like button or dislike button, and check us out on all our social media. And with that, you have a great fucking weekend, and we will catch you in the next series.
Deuces.
See ya.